Have you ever heard of a building so peculiar, so ambitious, that it seems to have been plucked straight from a storybook? High above the New Forest in England stands Sway Tower, a magnificent, slightly eccentric structure that has captured imaginations for over a century. Built between 1879 and 1885 by Andrew Thomas Turton Peterson, it was the first major building in Britain made from unreinforced concrete. Peterson, a retired judge from India, was a spiritualist. He believed the spirit of the great architect Sir Christopher Wren guided his hands in its design. The result? A 218-foot-tall tower, a testament to one man's unique vision. For years, it stood as a local curiosity, a magnificent folly. But our story really begins in 1903, when the tower found a new master, a man who would transform it from a mere landmark into the heart of a community. His name was Jack, and his story is one that has been passed down through generations, whispered in the lanes of Sway Village, a tale of kindness, wonder, and a little bit of magic. The year is 1903. The world is on the cusp of great change, but in the quiet village of Sway, life moves at a gentler pace. The tower had been a part of the landscape for nearly 2 decades, a silent giant watching over the forest. Then, one day, a stranger arrived. He wasn't a lord or a wealthy industrialist. He was a man named Jack, with a twinkle in his eye and a smile that seemed to reach every corner of his face. Nobody knew where he came from, only that he had a modest inheritance and an immeasurable wealth of dreams. While others saw an odd, empty building, Jack saw a canvas. He bought Sway Tower, and the locals couldn't help but wonder. What would one man do with such a colossal place? Whispers turned into open curiosity. Villagers would stroll by, trying to catch a glimpse of the new owner. They saw lights flickering in the high windows late at night and heard the faint sounds of hammering and sawing. Jack, always friendly, would wave from a balcony, his silhouette framed against the sky. He told them he wasn't just moving in, he was breathing life back into the tower. He had a vision, he'd say, a vision of a place that wasn't just for him, but for everyone. The village held its breath, waiting to see what this eccentric newcomer would do next. They didn't have to wait long. Jack's first project was a marvel. He transformed the lower levels of the tower into the most enchanting library the village had ever seen. He filled the circular rooms with shelves that spiraled towards the ceiling, packed with books he'd collected from all over the country. There were adventure stories, classic novels, books on astronomy, and tales of far-off lands. He declared it the Sway-Free Library, open to every man, woman, and child. People who had never owned a book in their lives suddenly had a world of knowledge at their fingertips. The children were his most frequent visitors. They'd sit on cozy rugs, lost in stories, while Jack moved among them, recommending a pirate adventure to one and a book about stars to another. But Jack's vision didn't stop at books. He noticed the incredible variety of birds in the New Forest. So he turned the middle section of the tower into a grand aviary, a sanctuary for injured or lost birds. Soon, the air around Sway Tower was filled with the gentle cooing of doves and the cheerful chirping of finches. He taught the local children how to care for them, how to identify their calls, and the importance of protecting the nature around them. The tower was no longer just a building. It was a hub of learning and life. Jack didn't stop there. He was a keen amateur astronomer, and the top of the tower, with its clear, dark skies, was the perfect spot for an observatory. He installed a large brass telescope, and on clear nights, he'd invite the entire village to come and gaze at the heavens. He'd point out Jupiter and its moons, trace the constellations, and tell stories of galaxies millions of light years away. For many, it was the first time they had ever looked through a telescope. Standing at the top of the tower, with the stars scattered like diamonds above, people felt a sense of wonder they had never known. Jack became a beloved figure, a local legend in his own lifetime. He was Jack of the Tower, the man who shared his home, his knowledge, and his heart with everyone. The tower wasn't just his house, it was the village's lighthouse, a beacon of community, kindness, and curiosity. He organized summer picnics on the grounds and winter carols by a roaring fire in the library. He knew everyone by name, celebrated their joys, and offered a comforting word during their sorrows. The initial suspicion of the eccentric stranger had long since melted away, replaced by a deep and abiding affection. He had won over the community not with money or status, but with simple, genuine generosity. The years rolled on. The world changed dramatically through to world wars and incredible technological advances, but in Sway, the tower and its guardian remained a constant. Jack grew older, his hair turning silver and his steps becoming a little slower, but the twinkle in his eye never faded. He was now a village elder, a grandfatherly figure to generations of children who had grown up with his library and his starlit nights. He'd spend his afternoons sitting on a bench at the base of the tower, a book in his lap, sharing stories with anyone who stopped to chat. He'd talk about the day he first saw the tower, the birds he had rescued, and the comets he had watched streak across the sky. The tower had become inseparable from his identity. To think of one was to think of the other. It was no longer Judge Peterson's folly, it was Jack's tower. It was a place of warmth, a sanctuary of stories, a testament to how one person's kindness could ripple outwards and shape an entire community. His spirit was woven into the very concrete of the walls, into the scent of old books in the library, and into the memory of starlight seen through a telescope. In the winter of 1948, Jack passed away peacefully in his sleep, in the tower he so dearly loved. He was well into his 90s. The entire village mourned. It felt as if the heart of Sway had momentarily stopped beating. His funeral was a testament to the life he had lived. People from all walks of life came to pay their respects, sharing their own personal stories of Jack of the Tower, but Jack's story doesn't end with his death. He left the tower and its contents to the village, ensuring that the library, the bird sanctuary, and the observatory would continue for generations to come. He left behind something far more valuable than a building. He left a legacy of community and wonder. Today, Sway Tower still stands tall. And though our story of Jack is a work of fiction inspired by its magic, it captures the spirit that such a place evokes. It reminds us that a home can be more than just bricks and mortar. It can be a beacon of generosity, a center for community, and a place where dreams can take flight. The real spirit of Sway Tower isn't in its concrete or its height, but in the idea that one person's vision can inspire a legacy of kindness that echoes through time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.